Here's the truth. Women may smile at charm, laugh at humor, and admire confidence. But deep respect? That comes from something else entirely. It comes when a man does things for her without being asked. Because let's face it, any guy can do the bare minimum when told, but the man who acts with foresight, with effort, with initiative, that's the man who earns a woman's deepest respect. Pause for effect. So, if you've ever wondered why some men naturally command respect in relationships while others struggle, then stay tuned. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of women, the mindset of true masculinity, and the powerful things men do that women notice, even if they never say it out loud. Introduction: The power of silent actions. Think about this for a second. Respect in relationships isn't built on big speeches, expensive gifts, or constant validation. Respect is built on the little, consistent actions, the kind that prove reliability, foresight, and strength without needing applause. Women at their core respect men who don't wait for instruction, men who notice, act, and lead naturally. Why? Because these behaviors show responsibility, care, and emotional intelligence, qualities that separate average men from extraordinary ones. This isn't about being a simp or bending over backwards for attention. This is about quiet leadership, a man's ability to step up without being told. So today, let's break down exactly what men do without asking that makes women respect them, and why these actions trigger such powerful emotions. Section 1: Taking initiative without permission. One of the clearest signs of a man who commands respect is this: he doesn't wait to be told what to do. Women respect men who can look at a situation, see what needs to be done, and simply do it. Whether it's something small, like noticing she's carrying groceries and grabbing a bag without a word, or something bigger, like making plans instead of saying whatever you want. This proactive energy screams leadership. Here's the psychology behind it. Women are naturally attracted to stability and direction. When a man acts without needing to be told, it signals confidence and awareness. It shows he's not passive or lazy, but engaged and responsible. Imagine two scenarios. She says, "Can you help me with this box?" And he helps. Nice, but expected. She struggles with the box, and without a word, he steps in, takes it, and says, "I got you." Guess which man she respects more? It's the difference between reactive energy and proactive energy. Women deeply respect men who anticipate needs without waiting for a cue. Mini story example. There was a woman I once interviewed who said this: "The moment I realized my boyfriend was different from the rest was when I came home exhausted one night. Without me saying anything, he had already cooked dinner, set it on the table, and told me to sit and relax. I didn't have to beg, hint, or nag. He just did it. From that day, I respected him on a deeper level." Notice what happened here? Respect wasn't bought, it wasn't forced, it was earned through action. Key lesson for men: don't wait for permission to step up. Look around, observe, and handle things before being asked. That's where true respect comes from. Section 2: Protection without control. One of the deepest instincts in human psychology is the need for safety. And for women, respect often flows toward men who make them feel protected, physically, emotionally, and even socially, without smothering or controlling them. Now, let's be clear. Protection doesn't mean acting like her father, boss, or bodyguard. It's not about telling her what she can or cannot do. True masculine protection is subtle. It's about presence. For example, walking her safely to her car at night without her needing to ask, standing on the street side of the sidewalk so she feels secure, keeping calm and composed when tension arises, showing her that no matter the chaos outside, you're steady inside. These little acts of protection, done without fanfare, are deeply respected by women because they show care, awareness, and masculine strength. Why it works. Psychology. Women subconsciously look for men who can provide safety without stripping them of freedom. A man who acts protective without being overbearing communicates, I care about you. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm capable of keeping you safe. And here's the beauty. Most women won't even ask for these things, but they'll always notice when a man does them. Mini story example. A woman once shared this story. I was walking with my boyfriend late at night, and I didn't even realize how uneasy I was feeling. Then, without me saying a word, he subtly switched sides to walk closer to the street, putting himself between me and the passing cars. I didn't say anything, but inside I thought, this man gets it. That tiny gesture made me respect him more than 1,000 sweet words. See? No big speech, no bragging, just silent, protective action. Key lesson for men. Protection should feel natural, not controlling. Women respect men who give them freedom but provide security at the same time. Section 3. Consistency and reliability. Let me ask you something. What do women hate more than arrogance? Unreliability. Here's the truth. Women deeply respect men who can be counted on, men who show consistency in their actions, their promises, and their character. Think about it. Anyone can be impressive once in a while. Anyone can do something nice when the mood hits. But the man who shows up consistently, without being reminded, without excuses, that's the man who earns respect. It could be small habits like always showing up on time, following through on promises, keeping his word even when it's inconvenient, or bigger commitments like working hard for his future, staying disciplined with his health, remaining loyal even when temptation strikes. Why it works. Psychology. Consistency builds trust. Trust builds security, and security builds respect. When women see a man who doesn't need to be nagged, who doesn't flake, who does what he says, she respects him because reliability is a form of leadership. Mini story example. There's a saying, don't tell me what you'll do, show me what you've done. One woman explained, I respected my husband long before I married him because he was consistent. He didn't just say, I'll change. He actually worked on himself daily. He didn't just say, I'll be there. He always showed up. That reliability is what made me know I could trust him with my life. Key lesson for men. Respect isn't earned in one moment. It's earned in a pattern of behavior. Reliability makes women feel safe, valued, and proud to stand by your side. Section 4. Silent emotional support. Here's something most men don't realize. Women don't always need advice. Sometimes they just need a man's steady presence. A man who provides emotional support without being asked earns respect on a whole different level. What does this look like? Sitting quietly with her when she's overwhelmed, listening without immediately trying to fix everything, giving her space when she needs it, and comfort when she doesn't know she does. Why it works? Psychology. Women respect men who can control their own emotions enough to hold space for hers. That shows maturity, patience, and emotional intelligence. Mini story. Example, one woman said, I had the worst day at work and came home ready to cry. My boyfriend didn't lecture me, didn't tell me what I should have done differently. He just pulled me into his arms and said, I'm here. That simple gesture made me feel respected, loved, and safe. It's not always about the words, it's about being a calm anchor in her storm. Key lesson for men. You don't have to fix everything. Sometimes women respect you more when you just listen, stay calm, and support without needing recognition. Section 5. Respecting her independence while still leading. Here's a paradox most men struggle with. Women want a man who leads, but they also want freedom. And when a man knows how to balance those two, he commands respect. Leadership doesn't mean controlling her. It doesn't mean making every decision for her. It means setting direction, showing initiative, and taking responsibility while still respecting her independence. For example, instead of saying, "We're going here, that's final," try, "I found this great spot for dinner, let's check it out." Instead of controlling her choices, you support them, but you also create a path forward so she doesn't always have to carry the mental load. Why it works. Psychology. Women respect men who give them space to be independent, yet step up to lead when it counts. It creates a dynamic balance. She feels free, but also supported. Mini story example. A woman once said about her husband, "He never tries to control me, but I love how he always has a plan. Whether it's booking a trip or handling a problem at home, he takes initiative. I still have my voice, but I never feel like I have to do everything alone. That balance makes me respect him more." Key lesson for men. True leadership isn't about control, it's about direction, initiative, and partnership. Women respect men who lead while honoring independence. Section 6. Taking responsibility without excuses. There's one thing that kills respect faster than anything else: excuses. When a man blames others, avoids accountability, or refuses to own his mistakes, respect evaporates. On the flip side, when a man takes responsibility without being asked, without being cornered, he earns respect instantly. It could be as simple as admitting when he's wrong, owning up to a mistake at work, apologizing sincerely when he's messed up in the relationship. Why it works. Psychology. Responsibility is linked to maturity. A man who avoids responsibility looks weak and unreliable, but a man who owns his actions, whether good or bad, shows strength, humility, and integrity. Mini story example. A woman explained, "I remember when my boyfriend forgot an important date. Instead of making excuses, he admitted it straight up. I messed up. I'm sorry. That's on me." I respected him more in that moment than if he had tried to cover it up, because real men own their mistakes. Key lesson for men. Respect grows when you take responsibility without being asked. Stop blaming, stop deflecting, own it, fix it, and move forward. Section 7. The power of small, unnoticed gestures. Here's something most men underestimate. Women notice the little things, even when they don't say a word. It's not always the grand gestures that earn respect. Sometimes it's the smallest acts done consistently without being asked, refilling her water without her noticing, remembering her coffee order, fixing something in the house quietly, charging her phone when she forgets. These tiny acts of thoughtfulness add up over time, and women respect men who do them naturally. Why it works. Psychology. The subconscious mind remembers patterns. A man who consistently shows thoughtfulness in small ways becomes associated with care, effort, and reliability. Mini story example. One woman said, "My partner always fills my gas tank when I'm low. He never makes a big deal of it, never brags. I'll just get in the car and see it full. That little gesture makes me feel respected and cared for, more than flowers or gifts ever could." Section 8. Maintaining standards and boundaries. Here's something most men get wrong. They think respect comes from always saying yes. But in reality, women respect men who hold standards and boundaries without being asked, without being pushed. Why? Because boundaries show self respect. And a man who respects himself automatically commands respect from others. Examples of boundaries women respect: not tolerating disrespectful behavior, even if it comes from her; maintaining personal goals and priorities instead of dropping everything just to please; saying no when necessary, but doing it calmly and firmly. Why it works. Psychology. Boundaries communicate strength. When a man has standards, it tells a woman, "I know my worth. I won't be walked over. I'm a leader, not a follower." Mini story example. A woman once shared, I tested my boyfriend once by showing up super late to see how he'd react. Instead of brushing it off, he calmly told me, I value my time, and I don't want to be kept waiting like that again. He wasn't rude, but he was firm. That made me respect him way more because he wasn't afraid to hold me accountable. Key lesson for men: never sacrifice your boundaries for validation. Women respect men who enforce their standards calmly, consistently, and unapologetically. Section 9: self discipline and self respect. Let's flip the focus for a moment. Respect isn't only about what you do for her, it's also about what you do for yourself. Women respect men who respect themselves, and self respect is built through self discipline. Think about it. The man who takes care of his health without being told, the man who manages his money responsibly, the man who avoids wasting time on destructive habits. These actions scream discipline. And women respect discipline because it represents control, focus, and ambition. Why it works: psychology. When you discipline yourself, you don't just show that you're capable of leading her, you show that you're capable of leading your own life. That's magnetic. Mini story example. One woman explained, my husband wakes up early every day to work out, no matter what. He doesn't do it for me, doesn't brag about it. He does it because he respects himself. That kind of discipline makes me respect him more because I know he has control over his life. Key lesson for men: respect starts with self respect. Women admire men who maintain discipline without needing reminders or external pressure. Section 10: providing value without expecting rewards. Here's one of the most powerful yet rarest traits a man can have: giving without keeping score. Women respect men who add value to their lives without constantly expecting praise, rewards, or recognition. This could mean helping her achieve her dreams, supporting her during tough times, offering guidance, effort, or resources without turning it into a transaction. Why it works: psychology. When a man gives freely, it shows strength, abundance, and confidence. It proves he's not insecure, not desperate, and not keeping a favor list. Mini story. Example. One woman said, my boyfriend helped me prepare for a big job interview. He stayed up late running mock questions with me, even though he had to work the next day. He didn't expect thanks, didn't use it as leverage, he just wanted me to succeed. That selfless support made me respect him so much more. Key lesson for men: respect grows when you give freely without strings attached. Women respect men who provide value naturally, not transactionally. Section 11: recap: the silent actions that command respect. Let's take a moment to pull it all together. We've uncovered the truth. Women don't just respect men for words, charm, or surface level effort. They respect men for the things they do without asking. Here's a quick recap of the key actions: taking initiative, acting before being told, protection without control, providing safety while honoring freedom, consistency and reliability, doing what you say over and over, silent emotional support, being steady when she needs peace, not solutions. Respecting independence. While leading, balancing freedom with direction, taking responsibility, owning mistakes without excuses, small, unnoticed gestures, the little things that show care, maintaining standards and boundaries, respecting yourself first, self discipline and self respect, showing control over your own life, providing value without expecting rewards, giving freely, not transactionally. Each of these actions shares one common thread: initiative. You're not waiting for instructions, you're living with awareness, confidence, and strength. Section 12: why respect matters more than love. Here's the hard truth that most men don't hear often enough. A woman can love you without respecting you, but if she respects you, that love will last and grow. Love is emotional, it can fluctuate, but respect is foundational. It's what keeps attraction alive long term. And women don't respect men who are passive, lazy, or insecure. They respect men who act with strength, foresight, and consistency without needing to be told. Think about it. If you lose her respect, the relationship is already over, even if she still says she loves you. Section 13, Closing Motivation. Be the man who doesn't wait. So here's the challenge I'll leave you with today. Stop waiting for cues. Stop waiting for her to spell out every need, every plan, every step. Start being the man who notices, the man who acts, the man who leads quietly but powerfully. Women respect men who move with confidence, men who give without keeping score, men who protect without controlling, and men who respect themselves enough to demand respect in return. You don't need to announce it, you don't need to brag, just live it, day in and day out. Because at the end of the day, real respect isn't earned in one big moment. It's earned in thousands of small, consistent actions, the kind of actions you do naturally without waiting to be asked. Pause for effect. So, my question to you is this: will you be that man? Call to action. If this message hit home for you, don't just watch and move on, start applying it today. And if you found value here, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more powerful insights, and share it with a man who needs to hear this right now. Because respect isn't just given, it's earned, and the time to start earning it is today.